next we talked about our, kind of the capital projects that we have going on right now. And council had been working on these over the last, some of them a couple of years. And, we wanted to go through what we had going on, where we stood on our capital reserve, and just kind of an update on all of that. Just to refresh your memory, we were able to create a what was started out as about a $7.5 million capital reserve. $2.5 million, or excuse me, $2.25 million came from the sale of the transfer station to Lakeshore Recycling. We had been working on the sale of that for more than a decade, and finally, connected with the right outfit that bought it, and then ended up, occupying the old lumber yard and bringing an office and center of operations here. And so it was a good deal for the city. And by selling that and getting that out of the city's operation, it saved over $200,000 a year. It cost the city over $200,000 a year to operate that transfer station. It was quite a drain on finances. So once that was removed, and then we receive a throughput charge for every ton of refuse that goes through the transfer station as a fee from Lakeshore Recycling as part of that sale arrangement as well. Plus the restructuring of all of our debt, we were able to then go out and issue $5 million worth of bonds were funded by the cost savings of not operating the transfer station and the refunding of all of a number of our other bonds, and so generated enough savings to pay for that new bond, and which became the basis for our capital reserve fund. And we used $1 million of that to buy the new ladder truck. And so then the rest of that we've dedicated, and we knew we needed those funds because we'd been applying for a lot of grant funds. And before you can go out and get your grant funds, or they'll commit them, they have to know that you have the match on hand. Otherwise, it doesn't go very far. You don't do well in those. So having those funds available, knowing that they were here, knowing that we were going to go forward with these projects if the grants were awarded, is a key piece to the success of us getting those funds. And so just a brief overview of some of those projects that we have going on right now. Phase 2 of the water main on West Harlem, which is from G Street to the bypass. That project was awarded to Advanced Plumbing here in town, and they will be starting that later this month, and hopefully be done in 3 or 4 weeks after they start it. So that's a $500,000 project, and that was funded from a grant from Senator Durbin, actually. And then the finally, after years of review and back and forth with IDOT, the West Harlem Street project, which is from Main Street to G Street, which will be concrete, curb, gutter, and sidewalks. That finally we're in the final stages of approval, and that should go to bid in January with hopefully an early spring construction time frame. That was a $3.5 million project. About 1.2 of that will come from our capital reserve. $500,000 came from Senator Halpin's grant, and then there's $1.8 million of federal highway funds that will be used for that.
Glad that one's going to finally.
Yeah,
'cause that's a bad street.
Yeah, it is. We put the water main in, which we obviously had to do first, and then we did some connections between that water tower and the other water towers. So there was a lot of good projects that happened, but.
That'll be interesting because you'll have multiple projects going on at once.
Yeah.
With the Harlem, and then the hospital's got some plans too.
Yeah, and then also in that area we have the water treatment plant that we're building out, and that's going to be about a $6 million project, and that will be there on Harlem Avenue as well. And we need that to produce over 1 million gallons of fresh water, drinkable water every day, and we need that for growing businesses and public safety and all of the things associated with that.
Okay.
And $2 million of that project is coming from a grant from DCEO that we got moved around from another project, and there'll be let's see, another 2.5 million will come from our capital reserve, and we think that we have another rural development the grant that we're still working on, but that right now that's in the unfunded portion of about $1.5 million.
Okay.
Then we have the downtown sewer project we've been working on for getting the USDA loan. That's been a 4-year process, which seems almost criminal, but and that'll be a $2.7 million project, and the USDA has been slow to get that funded, to the point where we're now investigating getting that done through the state revolving loan fund.
Okay.
And that loan will be paid off with our TIF district funds and debt service of about $122,000 a year. Then we have in the queue for engineering is the North 5th Street sewer replacement that starts at 4th Street, and that goes under the Broadway there, and it's a very old stone bridge, the underground, that goes through and goes under about 2 or 3 different houses along that route. So we are in the process, and those are not in good shape. So we're going to reroute that sewer out into the road and take it down, go north probably along Broadway there, and then east along Broadway, and then north on North 5th Street, and tie it into one of our other main interceptors. So that's an important project. Again, that's we think we have CDBG grant for $1 million, which means we'll probably have an unfunded portion there of about $500,000.
Okay.
And then, of course, our downtown revitalization project, that's going to be close to a $5 million project, of which $3 million came from our Rebuild Illinois grant. There'll be $400,000 in TIF funds, and then $730,000 of that came from the capital reserve. So
And we're getting there on the
yeah.
quadrant there. It looks like the rain garden's ready. They're doing the island in
Yeah.
the median right now,
Yeah.
and we're getting close.
Yeah, they're telling us they hope that's done in the next couple of weeks. I see all the bricks there on pallets. Hopefully we can get going on that project. Then we had to replace the water main after we got into it, and we had replaced all the water main around all the businesses around the 4 quadrants, as you know. And then in the process of working underground, we discovered that the water main in the 100 block of North Main and the 100 block of West Broadway were fairly compromised, and so we ended up replacing those, and that was about a $240,000 project. So we wanted to get that done because we're going to be replacing the road there in those 100 blocks as part of our downtown project. We've also discovered in the underground, that's always, when you're working underground, you never know what you're going to run into. We've discovered 2 manholes, sewer interceptor connectors that need to be replaced, and so that's also in the 100 block of North Main and the 100 block of East Broadway. So we're going to get those worked on as part of this downtown revitalization project. Those will be a couple of different ads.
Okay.
Then we have another mandate, and that is the disinfection project that we've been working on for a while now at the wastewater treatment plant. All the water has to be disinfected before it's discharged. That's a $2.5 million project, and that's we got a loan for that from the state revolving loan. 900,000 of that will be forgiven. 1.6 million will be part of a debt service we have to do.
Okay.
And then we're working on a what we call an project of opportunity. We have to have fewer than 4 combined sewer overflow events every year. We've been working on projects and we've been slowly working that down. We're getting down to the fact that they've found a section of sewer force main out at the old sewage treatment plant, and that's probably about a $500,000 project, and we will be working on that. Hopefully we can get that replaced, and then we don't have to do the phase 3 of the combined sewer overflow program, which is a $3.5 million project. So, and that is completely unfunded. So we're hoping that this $600,000 project for the force main will take us the rest of the way, and we don't have to do that $3.5 million. We'll be able to study the results. After some work and our guys out there that work with it every day and some engineering, I think we've maybe found this as an opportunity to maybe hopefully save some money going forward. And then let's see what else we did. Of course, the South First Street parking lot, of which $50,000 was a grant from our local fund, and then the $90,000 was paid for by TIF funds. And then the project for the terminal we just approved for $478,000. That's on the project, and that will be paid for by our insurance proceeds. And our list does go on, and we're also have the need for a new fire truck. We've had 3 of ours are 20 to 27 years old, and while some of them are still in great shape, we've had one that's just recently gone down, and we're doing a major overhaul on that one. And so, those are between $830,000 and perhaps soon to be close to $1 million for just a pumper truck, something that used to be, $200,000 or $300,000 not that many years ago. So that's on our list of things that we need to keep in mind as we work forward or look for funding opportunities. And we just have a lot of different things still going on in the queue that and of course the big one is the lead service line replacement. That's a $10 million project. Congressman Sorensen gave us $960,000. We applied for and received a state revolving loan fund for almost $2.8 million. We received that, and it will be forgiven. So we have a $3 million start on that project that is either grants or loans that are forgiven. So they're essentially all grants. And so we're getting ready to start into phase 1. Also, we got a couple $100,000 of help from the EPA to go out and do exploring, what they call potholing, to look at the service lines, at the curb stops, and at the water mains to see, exactly which households have the lead service lines. And we'll be starting that in the southeast and southwest sections of town. As we have funding, we'll try to get through those first. That's where we feel we have probably the most lead service lines, so we want to get started there.
Okay.
So
Well, thank you for the updates.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Okay.